Hi fellow crafters, welcome to or welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Terry from nutsaboutsstamping.com. Last week, Stampin' Up! Released some new online exclusive products, which means they won't be in catalogs. You have to go to my online store to see them. This week I want to feature one of the new products. It's a bundle, and I think it's one of the best bundles that Stampin' Up! Has ever produced. I want to show you how to create a beautiful card using these products. So let's get started. This is the Changing Leaves bundle. So we've got the Changing Leaves stamp set, we've got the coordinating dies, and we also have an embossing folder. And what's really cool and really special about this particular bundle is that the dies coordinate not only with the stamp set, but with the embossing folder. So I'm going to be showing you how to use all three of these to create a beautiful card idea. The first thing we're going to do is emboss a piece of basic white cardstock. I've cut it quite large, and you'll see why in a minute. It's not going to be the size of my card front in the end, but there are so many ways you can use this embossing folder. So I'm going to head over to my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and emboss the basic white layer. So here we go. This is what it looks like on the outie side, and this is what it looks like on the innie side. So either side is beautiful, but for today's project, I'm going to use the outie side. What I want to do now is I want to take my blending brushes and some ink, and I want to color the leaves on this layer. I'm going to start off by using Daffodil Delight ink, and I want to add just a touch of yellow to the tips of some of these leaves, and then more so on some of the other ones. What I want to do is take another blending brush, and I'm going to use some Old Olive ink, and I'm going to add Old Olive to some of the leaves as well. Now the final thing I want to do is bring in my Mossy Meadow ink and another blending brush and add just a little bit of darkness to some of the leaves. And look at that. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? I think this in itself would make a fantastic 6x6 card, but that's not what I'm going to be creating today. So I am going to just chill, and I'm going to bring in the corresponding die. So this die goes around the largest leaves on this embossed layer, like so. So I am going to go over to my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. But before I do, I also want to point out that you can use some of these other leaves as accents on other projects. I'm not going to be doing that today, but keep that in mind for your future projects. I'll be back in a moment. So these are the leaves that you're going to die cut out using the die. I'm not going to be using this one on today's project. I will be using these two. There's something else I'd like to point out to you is this makes a great mask for future projects. So you can also use these leaves, but you can also use the die cut bits or the bits that have been die cut out to create a mask for other projects. So many uses for this bundle. Now what I want to do, I'm going to slide these aside. There are some other dies in the die pack, and I'm going to die cut out some accents. So I've got these leaves here, and then I've got this, I don't know, it's a leaf or something. On the back of each one of these, I have added some adhesive sheets because these are going to be quite delicate. So I'm going to cut 2 of these, 1 of these, and 1 of these, and I'll be right back. Now I've got all the pieces die cut out. I'll show you those in a minute. And now what I want to do is create a layer for my card front. This is watercolor paper, and you will see why in a minute. I am going to use the same 3 ink pads and my blending brushes to add a little bit of color to this layer for my card front. Now what I want to do is bring in one of my water painters. I've got water in it, and I want to just get the water flowing. I usually use my hand so I know when the water is coming out. And what I want to do is I want to just tap some water onto the watercolor paper that I have applied ink to and create some water splotches. Now you can see that there's something starting to happen with the ink here, but what I want to do is just leave it as is. I'm going to slide it aside to dry, and we're going to work next on a phrase for the front of the card. I have a scrap piece of basic white, and I've got the thank you phrase, and I want to ink it up and stamp it down using Old Olive ink. And in the die pack, there is also a circle die, so I'm going to die cut that out. My card base is going to be Daffodil Delight, and I have a layer of Mossy Meadow, and I'm going to adhere that to the card base. The next thing I want to do is add my watercolor paper layer. It's not quite dry, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. But you can see how the water splotches created an interesting dimension, I guess, to this layer. So I suggest that you give that a try the next time you make one of your cards. So I'll adhere these 2 together next. Now the next thing I want to do is attach my leaves that I've die cut out, and I've put Stampin' Dimensionals on the back of them because I want to give them a little bit of lift off the front of my card. Remember these elements that I die cut out? I'm going to add these to the front of the card next. Okay, it's coming along really nicely. Now I want to add my phrase, and I'm going to attach that using my multi-purpose liquid glue. There we go. And now it's time to think embellishments. I have these transparent adhesive dots, and I kind of like these, even though they're quite like a lime green. They're almost like a granny apple green. I think that they would go really nicely on this card to pull the greens and yellows together. So I'm going to use some of those. And there we go. My card is complete, and I love how it turned out. Would you like to see more card ideas using the Changing Leaves bundle? If you would, then comment leaves in the comment section below, and I will get designing. If you'd like a complete listing of the supplies that I used, the measurements for all of the layers, and the product ordering numbers for the Changing Leaves bundle, I will link to my blog article in the description box under this video. You can link over there and get all the information you need. I'm Terry. I am Nuts About Stamping. I'll see you at the next video. Bye for now.